Hello everyone, it is Canada Graphs here with another set report video. This is for The Last of Us. It's season 3. I believe it should be episode 3, but I could be mistaken. I'm not really sure what episode they're on right now, but I believe it's 3. Here you see Kaitlyn and Kyriana Kratter on set filming as Abby and Lev, and they will be the only two actors in the scenes on this particular day. I got there very early in the morning. I literally got there when they were starting, so I got the first photos and videos of the set that day. However, on social media there are some people that got some later in the day that I would honestly say they kind of got some better angles than me. They were a little more generous with where you could stand a little later in the day, I suppose. I left early because I got enough stuff that I thought was good, and didn't realize that as the day went on there would be some better stuff later on. But here you can see that they're doing this scene, and in the scene you already saw that Lev's character says something to Abby and then takes off. And Abby just stands there for a while. You can see Lev off to the far right there, and then Abby walks that direction. I believe that might be the director. I'm not entirely certain, but probably the director telling them like, hey, I want you to move in this particular way, in this direction. Here they are just in between breaks. You can see Kyriana there sipping on some water, and Kaitlyn is getting some input from somebody there. I don't know what it's about. Kaitlyn does a little spinaroo there and leaves Kyriana there just stand by herself. And you can see her just kind of laughing about something. I don't know what was said. Obviously I was the equivalent of about 3/4 of a block away, so a little hard for me to hear. But here they are filming that scene again. And you can see there, like Lev's body language is kind of maybe a little disappointed or unhappy with whatever has been said during this altercation. She doesn't seem thrilled by whatever she was hearing, and then she leaves, and Abby will just stand there for quite a while. So I don't know at this point whether Abby is in frame or Kyriana is in, or Lev is in frame. I don't know who the camera is following in this particular moment, so I don't know if Lev is off doing something else off to the side, because it looked like Lev was grabbing for a bow or an arrow out of her quiver, but we don't really know what's happening there. And this, by the way, this gives you an idea how far back I had to stand. If you're wondering, why don't I stand where all those people are standing, it's because you need the height to be able to see over the things, especially with how short Kaitlyn and Kyriana are. It is hard to see them at ground level. So I was standing up above where they were to see them. And here are some still photos from the day. Obviously, we already know who's on set, so I don't have to describe it to you. But I felt pleased with the photos I got on this day. I couldn't have known that there was going to be some closer up action later on. Just sometimes you pick the right time of day, sometimes you don't. Usually on The Last of Us set, going early is the right call, because they get more and more protective of the scene as the day goes on. On this particular day, there was a lot of photos on social media from people that got some pretty good shots later in the day, so I should have maybe come back later, but that wasn't in my plans, so I couldn't have known. But I still got good shots. Like, I feel like I got pretty good shots throughout this day. You can see like quite a few of Kyriana and a few of Kaitlyn at different times, sharing a few laughs. You know, I personally think I still did pretty good. Could I have done better if I'd waited around a few more hours? Possibly. but I can't know that in advance, unfortunately. So I go with what usually works, and in this case it was probably the less optimal option. There's Kaitlyn in between breaks, just walking down the stairs to go to set. Their green room was off an alleyway there that usually is like a staircase to go up to the next street over, but that day they had it blocked off to the public. But they didn't have the whole area blocked off, so I was able to look over and see her leaving to go to set. And so yeah, that's where I took those photos from. Some people earlier had seen Kyriana in that same area and had taken a photo of her there, but when I was over there I saw Abby instead and took her photos. And yeah, this is just the same scene over and over again. I don't know what else to add to this really, except for the fact that I did learn something in the last couple of sets I've been to for The Last of Us. Not this particular set, but the set before. I did learn from a crew member that they do not shoot in the rain. I don't know why, because I've been to Seattle enough times to know it rains quite a bit in Seattle. But apparently they won't do scenes in the rain. They want it to be dry and ideally sunny for the scenes in Seattle. I don't know why. I'll be honest, I don't know why, because anyone that's ever been to Seattle for any length of time can tell you it's much like Vancouver, where it rains a good portion of the year. So it's really weird to only film on sunny days or dry days here for it. I'm sure it's got something to do with the scene. Maybe the scene's set in the summer and it's, you know, in a short period of time in the summer, so they need it to have a continuity where it's always kind of the same weather. Because if you're shooting something that's only, you know, a few days of a story, you don't really want it pouring rain one scene and then sunny the next scene, and then it really messes with the continuity. So yeah, apparently they'll only shoot on sunny days, and if they have a set that is scheduled and it is going to rain that day, they move to a studio location instead and shoot a different set of scenes that is pre-planned to shoot in case of wet weather. So they have this whole system set up where they shoot on dry days. If it's not a dry day, they move to studio and shoot stuff that is planned to shoot in the studio but is fluid enough that they can schedule it around if they need to use it on a day where it's raining. Kind of a wild setup. I don't know if I've ever seen another show be that like specific about what weather they need. But yeah, that was this particular set for The Last of Us. I believe they'll probably be downtown maybe one more time before the World Cup of Soccer takes over Vancouver next month. There will be a lot of filming that will just go on hiatus probably for a little while. It happened here during the Olympics. When we had the Olympics here, things went on hiatus for a week or two. I think it's going to happen with World Cup too. There'll probably be things that are just not going to film for a little bit. And that's it for this one. Talk to you later. Bye.